Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving headfirst into one of my all-time favorite bakes, a truly spectacular homemade brioche. I'm going to walk you through how to get that incredibly soft, buttery, bakery-quality bread right in your own kitchen. This is the kind of recipe that makes your entire house smell absolutely divine. And I mean that literally. Just close your eyes and imagine tearing into a warm bun that is so light and airy it's like a little cloud of buttery goodness. I promise you, this is one of the most satisfying things you'll ever bake, and I'm right here with you for every single step of the way. Okay, so let's get started by meeting our cast of characters. The ingredients. The real secret to an unbelievable brioche isn't some long, complicated list. Nope. It's all about using simple, quality ingredients that work together to create something truly rich and special. So here's what you're going to need. We're starting with 1 kilogram of all-purpose flour. Then we've got 200 grams of soft butter. That's about 2 sticks, 4 large eggs, 1 cup of warm water, and 1 cup of sugar. And to round it out, a tablespoon of yeast, a teaspoon of baking powder, and just a half teaspoon of salt. Now, this makes a pretty big batch, around 20 to 22 buns, which is awesome because they freeze so well. Now, a few little insider tips to guarantee success. You've got to use room temperature butter and eggs. It makes all the difference for a smooth dough. See, the magic of brioche is that high butter and egg content. It's what makes it so rich. Now, if you want to take it up a notch, add 3 tablespoons of milk powder. If you go that route, stick with the water. If not, just swap the water for warm milk instead. And my personal secret weapon? A packet of whipped cream powder. It makes the final brioche unbelievably soft, trust me. All right, ingredients are ready, so it's time for my favorite part, crafting the dough. This is where the real magic happens, where these simple ingredients start to transform into something silky, elastic, and just glorious. First things first, let's wake up that yeast. Just mix it with the warm water and let it sit for a few minutes until it gets nice and frothy. In a big bowl, combine that bubbly yeast mixture with your sugar, eggs, and the milk powder if you're using it. Okay, now dump in your dry ingredients, the flour, baking powder, and salt. When you start mixing, don't freak out. It's going to feel really heavy and dry. That's totally normal. Once it just kind of comes together, start adding your softened butter, just a little bit at a time, making sure it gets worked in before you add the next piece. So, as that butter goes in, the dough is going to look like a total mess. I'm talking sticky, greasy. You're going to think, oh no, what did I do wrong? You did nothing wrong. This is exactly what's supposed to happen. It's a necessary step, and it means you're right on track. And here is the most important part. Just keep kneading. Once all that butter is in, set a timer for 10 minutes. This is non-negotiable. This is where we build the gluten structure, creating this strong, stretchy network inside the dough. These 10 minutes are what turn that sticky mess into the smooth, silky foundation for our amazing brioche. And boom, after 10 minutes, you'll see a total transformation. The dough will pull away from the sides of the bowl. It'll be so incredibly smooth with this beautiful pale yellow color from all that butter. It'll feel soft, elastic. You can even do a little test. Pinch off a piece and stretch it. It should get really thin without tearing. That's when you know it's perfect. Now it's time to let our dough take a little nap. Gather it into a ball, pop it in a lightly oiled bowl, and cover it up. Find a nice warm spot in your kitchen and let it rise for about an hour, or until it's doubled in size. This is called proofing, and it's what gives us that light, airy texture. Oh, and here's a great tip. If you want fresh brioche for breakfast, you can let it do this first rise nice and slow overnight in the fridge. Okay, our dough is beautifully risen, which means it's time for the really fun part, shaping. This is where we get to be creative and really bring these little brioche buns to life. I'm going to show you 2 of my favorite ways to do it, and they're both way easier than they look. So we've got 2 options. There's the classic swirl. It's timeless, super simple, always a winner. And then we have the elegant rose, which looks so fancy and impressive, but it's actually pretty simple to do. Pick whichever one is calling your name today. For that classic swirl, just take a piece of dough and roll it into a short little rope. Then fold that rope in half and just twist the 2 strands together. Now take that twisted rope and coil it up into a tight little spiral, kind of like a snail shell. When you get to the very end, just tuck it neatly underneath. And that's it. Simple, right? Now for the elegant rose. Don't be intimidated. Start by rolling a piece of dough into a long, thin rectangle. Then take a knife and cut it right down the middle lengthwise. But, and this is key, leave the top bit connected. Now, roll up that connected part tightly. That's the center of your rose. You'll have two long strands hanging down. Just braid those together. And to finish, you just wrap that beautiful braid around the base of the rose and tuck the end underneath. See? It looks so impressive, but it's really just a few simple steps. All right, our brioche are shaped and looking beautiful. We are on the home stretch now, heading into the final stage, baking. Your kitchen is about to smell absolutely incredible. Let's do this. So here's our final little timeline. Place your shaped buns on a baking sheet, cover them up, and let them have one last little rest for about 30 minutes. This final proof makes them extra puffy. Then we'll give them a shiny egg wash, and into the oven they go for just 12 to 15 minutes until they're perfectly golden. After that, a quick rest, and it's time to enjoy. To get that gorgeous professional-looking shine, we need a good egg wash. It's super simple. Just whisk together 2 egg yolks, 2 tablespoons of milk, and about a half teaspoon of vanilla for a lovely aroma. Gently brush this all over your buns right before baking. And if you want that crunchy, bakery-style finish, sprinkle on some coarse sugar. It's such a nice touch. Make sure your oven is preheated to 200 degrees Celsius, which is about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. You'll want to place your baking sheet right on the middle rack. That ensures a really even golden brown bake all around. Okay, here is a game-changing tip. The second your brioche comes out of the oven, I want you to cover the whole tray with a clean kitchen towel. What this does is trap all that steam, which keeps the crust from getting hard. It's the secret to keeping them wonderfully soft and tender. Don't skip this. And there you have it. The work is done. And now for the absolute best part, enjoying the treasure you've just created. This is the moment we've been waiting for. So, what does success look like? It looks like a beautiful, deep, golden brown crust. And when you tear one open, the inside should be almost cloud-like, incredibly soft, fluffy, with all these beautiful layers. The smell is all rich butter, and the taste is just perfectly lightly sweet. That, my friends, is brioche perfection. And since this recipe makes such a generous batch, let's talk storage. Make sure they cool down completely, then just pop them in an airtight bag or container. And guess what? They freeze beautifully for up to a month. When you want one, just warm it up gently, and it'll taste like you just pulled it from the oven. So, I'll leave you with this question. As you're about to take a bite of that first warm, buttery, homemade brioche, what are you going to have with it? A hot cup of coffee, a little bit of jam? Whatever it is, I really hope you take a moment to savor it and be proud of what you just made. Enjoy every single bite.